The People's Court today at 4:30.
The role of Skylar Whitney is temporarily being played by James Horan.
Well, you're right on time, I'm sorry to say.
I know this is an unhappy day for you, Aunt Geraldine, but it simply has to be this way.
I know that. I just wish it could have been on a day when Raven was here.
Raven isn't here because she chose not to be here.
Still, I don't like the idea of moving out without Raven being here. I was going to call the resort where she's staying, but...
But you didn't.
I saw no point in depressing her any further.
Well, she doesn't sound too depressed if she's in a resort. What would you like for me to do first, Mr. Whitney?
Just contain yourself in patience, Gunther, as my late mother used to say. You see, Geraldine, all sorts of memories are coming back to me now that I'm back in my old ancestral home.
It isn't your ancestral home, my dear. It's mine, or at least it was before some changes.
Well, the wheels turn, don't they? Now it's the genuine Whitney mansion again. Why haven't you packed that?
Oh, I don't know. Everything I packed were personal things. That seemed to be part of the furnishings.
It's not part of this house any more than the woman who posed for it was. Well, I brought Gunther along to see if you needed any help.
That was very thoughtful of you, Skylar, but I've already packed all of my belongings.
Would you like for me to take them to the hotel, Mrs. Saxon? I could use the station wagon.
No, thank you. I've already arranged for someone.
As independent as ever, aren't you, Auntie?
I have left this house before, Skylar.
You don't have to leave it. As I told you, you're perfectly welcome to stay.
Guess what? You're a star boarder or you're a housekeeper?
I've already hired a housekeeper, and you could never be a boarder in this house, Geraldine. You're as much a part of the place as the walls and ceilings. Well, Gunther, since Mrs. Saxon doesn't require your services, perhaps you can be of use to me. Do you know where the Diedrichson studio is?
No, never heard of it.
It's on Bank Street. Just look for a restaurant with a sign outside. It's called Sid's Tavern, and it's a few doors to the south of that.
It used to be the Wiley Dance Studio.
Just give this to Mr. Diedrichson. Tell him it's the agreement we discussed. Ask him to look it over and sign the first 2 copies if it's acceptable. Oh, and here's all the keys I could find to the Whitney Theater.
The Whitney? Are you really going to let those people use the Whitney Theater?
Yes, I thought it was a rather grand gesture. Well, Gunther, go on. What are you still doing here?
Yes, sir. The Wiley Dance Studio, Mrs. Saxon, isn't that the place where my brother Bruno got his?
Yes, Gunther, it's the same studio. He's referring to the shooting.
Yes, I know.
It's the same place. If that makes you feel uncomfortable.
No, sir, not a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to seeing it, huh?
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Spick and Span. Spick and Span. It helps your floor show its true colors. And by Mountain Grown Folgers. Mountain Grown coffee, the richest kind.
We won, Mrs. Olson.
Oh, wonderful. Sue, you're some cook.
Oh, come on, we're celebrating.
Food, coffee. I love good coffee.
I'll make some.
Honey, he said good coffee.
Spoil sport. But he's right. I can't make good coffee.
You can make great coffee.
Come on.
Folgers will prove it.
Prove what? Coffee's coffee.
No, Folgers is different. A special blend. Best I've tasted.
Mountain grown?
Mountain grown means great flavor because it's the richest kind of coffee. Make some.
Smells rich.
Great coffee.
More?
Fill her up, Coach.
Great coffee's easy, and mountain-grown Folgers proves it.
Howdy! Another new floor?
Hi, Minnie. No, this tile's the color my floor's supposed to be.
Well, looks like dirt's got all scuffed in.
And dulled its true colors.
To show your floor's true colors, clean it with Spick and Span.
Spick and span on my no-wax floor?
Works great. Ground-in dirt can dull your floor, hide its true colors. But nothing cleans better than Spick and Span. It cleans deep into crevices and lifts out scuffed-in dirt.
But is it safe for my floor?
Why, sure. No liquid cleaner's safer.
Great. Spick and Span will make my floor look new again.
Nothing can do that. But it will get it the truest color it can be.
That's the floor I fell in love with.
Told you. Spick and Span helps your floor show its true colors.
Look, Calvin, all we can do is put all the data that we have on Pietro into the computer and hope for the best.
Yeah, hope is right, since we're almost positive that it isn't even the guy's real name.
Say, Calvin, look, you're still not kicking yourself because you let that guy get away, are you?
Me kicking myself? Why should I? Because I let a guy get away who I had right in the palm of my hands?
Jody helped him get away, didn't she?
Let's just say that, she got in the way when I went for her.
Strange, that wasn't in your report.
Yeah, well, you know, that would amount to accusing her of obstructing justice. I wouldn't do that to Jody. So, like I said, she just happened to get in the way, okay?
Right. So all we really have is this guy's description, which we've got on the computer.
Yeah, something's coming up. No record available. Please input further data. Well, I guess that, as they say, is that.
I didn't expect much more, did you?
No, guess not.
Calvin, what do you think about all this? I mean, do you think they were telling Jody the truth?
I guess so. I mean, it's obvious that they're a part of some political faction. The problem is that we just have no information on Eden.
Right. Well, what about Endicott? I mean, this wild story that he's a front for some kind of a mob organization.
Now, that one, I must say, I do believe. I mean, there was always something about that guy that was just a little too smooth to suit me, if you know what I mean.
Well, Endicott is in Eden right now. That's something we didn't know before, which means he's definitely got connections there, right?
Yeah. Strange, too. He left his daughter behind to run the gallery.
Tell you what, why don't you and I go over and have a little chat with Miss Endicott? Sorry, that's right. You've got official business with Miss Dee Dee Bannister.
Indeed, I did.
It's okay. I'm just going to go over and talk to Miss Endicott myself and see what I can get.
Yeah, well, good hunting.
He's getting the keys to the theater today. Terrific. We'll have a party then. On stage, of course. We'll bring candles or a flashlight. Look, Mitzi, I will go get fireflies and put them in a jar. Has he mentioned anything about who's going to cast in the first production yet? Well, I mean, yeah, I know that's part of the agreement, but no, I can't. Oh, you know me when it comes to hammers and nails. They call me Thumbs Nelson. No, I can't. Don't start. Come on, don't start. Don't. All right, I'll think about it, okay? I'll see you at Sid's tonight. You working? Well, good. That means I won't have to pay. That was a joke, Mitzi. Yeah, bye. Did you hear that?
In his gigantic office? How could I?
Terrific. It's true. He's signing the papers with Sky Whitney. We are going to have a theater.
We?
Well, yeah, he hasn't officially announced the opening of the theater group, but I'm sure he will.
And you're just assuming that you will be a part of it?
Yeah, after all I went through last time, you betcha.
And you didn't learn your lesson the last time?
Well, that stuff about Raven, that won't happen again. All that crazy scam business, never.
You know what's even crazier? The idea of your playing Cliff Barrymore again.
Dee Dee, you have never seen me act. There's no reason at all why I can't be the next Barrymore or less.
Cliff, do you remember what happened to your law practice the last time you got involved in show business?
Yeah, I know, I let it slide a little.
Oh, I'll say you let it slide right on into the...
Dee Dee, look at this, huh? Look at that. It's a decision on the Harris case in my favor. Now, that is going to pay rent for a few months. And I got 3 corporate clients while I was in Chicago. You know, it is summertime outside. There's a recession going on. This is always a slow time. Don't worry about it, all right? Dee Dee, I'll be careful. Besides, there's not going to be much acting going on in that theater anyway for a while.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Well, one of the conditions of the lease is that Jim has to renovate the theater. Now, that is going to take a lot of hard work.
Then I don't have to worry. You definitely won't get involved.
That's cruel. It's untrue. It's uncalled for. Just for that, you can take me to lunch.
Wrong.
Oh, why not?
Because Calvin is coming by.
Oh.
Oh, he wants to talk to me about one of my clients.
Oh, of course. This is just purely a business meeting.
Yes, this is a business meeting.
Well, that's good, because then it doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
Well, it doesn't matter About your hair, Dee Dee.
What about my hair?
Well, your hair, it's all messed up.
Cliff!
You know, I can't believe it. We actually got the Whitney Theater back. You know, I was the one that said that that could never happen.
Oh, you don't mind eating your words?
No, I love to eat my words right now. But how was I supposed to know that Raven Whitney was going to lose the theater, too? Well, why am I telling you all this? You don't know anything about this.
Hey, I'll listen to anything about theater. I'm crazy about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, then why didn't you sign up for one of my acting classes? I need the money.
I'm sorry. It's not my bag. I like the graphics.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you ever tried your hand at scenic design?
No. You know, I bet those guys have fun, though.
You want to try it?
What do you mean?
Well, I know there's an opening at the Whitney Theater.
Well, it sounds great, but I think you better get yourself someone with experience.
Experience? You kidding? You have to pay those guys.
Aha. This is a non-salary job, right?
Yep. But it might have a future.
Are you really serious?
Yes, Chad. I mean, we're all beginners here.
You know, it sounds like I bet I'd really get a kick out of designing sets. Hey, I've got another good idea for you.
Okay. You wouldn't know any carpenters, would you?
No, but I know a really beautiful girl. How about her for the ingenue?
Those crunchy, munchy nuggets, dogs really love that taste. And with that combination of flavors, it's not just good, it's great. Dog Chow brand dog food, they love that taste and how. It's the great American dog food, Purina Dog Chow. It's the largest selling dog food, so treat your dog right now to the great American dog food, Purina Dog Chow.
Hey, Joe, listen to this, Joe. According to Miss Travis, the abduction was made in error. Miss Travis told police that the two young terrorists who held her prisoner for more than 2 days had mistaken her for someone else, the daughter of an official in the Eden government. What is this garbage? The whole thing is one big giant bologna sandwich.
Yeah, well, you know you can't believe what you read in the papers.
I don't get it. Now, she knows why they snatched her. They figured she was going to come along, wave her magic wand, and save the whole country.
Yeah, but they don't want to let the story out because they don't want people to know she is the martyr of Eden.
Why not? If these crazy bananas want to start a revolution.
No. You see, they're worried about the guys who don't want a revolution. Like guys like you and me.
Wait a minute. They figure that something might happen to her if anybody found out her real identity. Now, you remember what I told you about Gracie Endicott? What she told me, that they can't hurt this chick. They can't kill this chick. It's only going to make things worse.
That's right. That's why we got to neutralize her.
Neutralize her? That's a $50 word if I ever heard one. I love it. I'm going to remember that.
Eddie, Damien Tyler's outside.
What is he doing here? What is it with this guy? What has he got, a bloodhound in one of my old socks? What's going on?
He was surprised enough to see me, so I guess he didn't know that you were here, too. What should I do?
Well, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm in no mood to talk to a cop. We're going to move this discussion elsewhere. Do me a favor, Poppy. Neutralize Damien Tyler. Let's go find a bar. See you.
Hey, what's your hurry, Poppy?
Look, I told you already. I don't know anything about anything.
Oh, come on. You didn't come down here to browse around, and you weren't sitting at that desk out there like you didn't work here, which obviously you do.
Well, yes,
But I think it's only temporary. It all depends on...
On what?
Well, if you must know, Eddie bought this place, so I'm going to work out of here for a while.
What? Eddie Lorimer bought the Endicott
I don't
Gallery?
know if he owns the whole thing or exactly what the story is, but if you want to talk to him about it, you'll have to come back some other time, okay?
Hey, wait a minute, Angel. I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to talk to you right now. Look, don't you think it's kind of peculiar that a guy like Eddie goes from being a junk dealer to an art dealer in one easy step?
He's not giving up the salvage company, Damien. He's just, he's expanding his interests.
Oh, I see. This is a conglomerate now, huh?
Well, lots of people run different businesses, don't
Look,
they?
illiterates like Eddie Lorimer don't buy art dealerships. Oh, come on, Poppy. Will you at least tell me where Grace Endicott is?
I don't know where she is, and I can't stand around here talking to you all morning. I've got letters to type.
Well, so maybe Endicott is a friend.
Gloria, never wear white jeans to plant a kumquat tree. And if you do, don't run out of bleach.
Here, Carol, use some of mine.
Carol doesn't know she's getting Biz Bleach. Yes, bleach. It's a whole new way to think about Biz.
Don't you have any liquid bleach?
This bleach will get those muddy pants whiter. And clean your red shirt, too.
Biz is bleach. Plus, Energized Cleaner's liquid bleach doesn't have. So added with detergent, Biz All Fabric Bleach cleans muddy dirt better.
Look at these jeans.
Yeah.
Really white.
I know.
Color's bright, too. What was that bleach?
Biz bleach.
Well, I never knew Biz was bleach.
I never knew you were so crazy about kumquats.
Muddy dirt, discover Biz Bleach. And discover a cleaner, whiter wash.
Raise your hand. You got it. Raise your hand. You know it. You feel confident, secure. Raise your hand. You feel dry now. Raise your hand. You know why now. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure.
You've got it. That sure, secure, confident feeling. Because each Sure gives you enough protection to help feel dry all day.
Confident, confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand if you're sure.
All right, hold it right there, Sonny.
And, you know, you don't look at all like my old man.
Put it back.
It was just candy.
Put it back, and then take the change out of your pocket and put it back in the drawer.
And what change?
The money you just took out of the drawer, man. I'm not going to tell you twice.
Yeah, and who are you, the house detective? I thought they only had those in hotels.
You're close enough. I'm a cop, Detective Monticello PD. Now, does that help you change your mind?
Well, you know, I think I have to go now. Oh, yeah, the change. And here you are, my good man. You buy yourself a rubber hose.
You aren't going anywhere.
Man, it was only a joke.
Yeah. Try laughing at this. Assume the position. Hit it! Come on, you've done it before.
Calvin, what are you doing?
You know, you really ought to keep your door locked. There are lots of sneak thieves all over this building.
Yeah, you hear that, Dee Dee?
You know him?
I am no thief, officer. I'm her brother.
As a matter of fact, Calvin, he's both.
I know you think I've got a heart of stone, Geraldine. I'm sorry you don't have a better opinion of me. You're my only family, the only link I have with my past. It's just that I can't find any generosity in my soul for that woman.
I'm not expecting generosity, Schuyler, only forbearance.
It's always those of us who wrong us who ask for forbearance, isn't it?
But you weren't wronged by Raven. She wasn't even aware that there were any victims of her husband's larceny.
You still believe she's completely innocent?
No, of course not. But Raven wasn't the imposter. It was your friend, Jeff Brown, who was.
She was Mrs. Imposter, wasn't she? His accomplice, his partner in crime.
Jefferson Brown was a criminal. Raven was only... Raven.
A law unto herself, eh?
Just call it a natural force. But not a force of evil, Schuyler. Simply a spoiled child who never grew out of her greedy ways.
And of course she had beauty. Those are always the worst ones, Geraldine. The spoiled, beautiful ones.
Well, for a time, beauty was all she had to offer.
Until a man came along with my face and carrying my bank book.
You certainly can't blame her for that, setting her traps for the most eligible bachelor in town.
And after she'd captured him, she learned the truth. That she'd set her traps for a mink and caught a rat.
But then it was too late, surely you can see that. She couldn't very well call the police and say that her new husband, the man she loved, was a fraud, could she?
Don't ask me for a dispassionate opinion, Geraldine.
No, no, Schuyler. Raven couldn't have done anything but what she did. Or, for that matter, what she's doing now.
Where is she, by the way? I thought she was in some sort of resort.
Yes, that's where she is.
Geraldine, you're very fond of Raven, aren't you?
Her mother was my dearest friend. I've known Raven ever since she was a child.
You know exactly what she is, and yet you continue to think of her as your loving daughter. That's the reason you don't want to stay here, isn't it? You want to be with her.
Well, she needs me more than you do, Schuyler. And I just have the feeling that you really don't need anyone very much.
You're wrong. I do need people. It's just that there are few people I can trust.
Well, I won't argue with you. And my head tells me that everything you have said is correct. Raven was wrong, and you were right. And I suppose no one can ask you to forgive or forget or be generous.
But I can be, in the right circumstances. For instance, I just gave away a theater.
To be a pepper, original like a pepper, all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. To know the pleasure of a flavor you will treasure, all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. The flavor's got a feeling, original and appealing, and all you gotta do is taste. To be a pepper, open up the Dr. Pepper, and all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. Yeah!
Just because nobody ever slips on a cotton swab in the bathtub does not mean you shouldn't be concerned about its safety. This is a Q-Tips cotton swab. They call it the safe swab. That's because Q-Tips has a nice soft cushion of cotton right here at the tip, so they feel nice and soft and safe when you use them on your eyes or on your nose or on your ear, or even when you drop them on your foot.
Q-Tips, the safe swab.
On Ryan's Hope.
This tape is evidence of your complicity in a crime.
You can't.
This thing could send you to jail, Kim.
You wouldn't do that.
Ryan's Hope. Weekdays. Here on ABC.
Well, Gavin, it's been good to see you again. Glad everything worked out well for Jody.
Yeah, so am I. Listen, you don't have to leave on my account.
Oh, no, I have a lunch date. Listen, Jim, I'll talk to you later, huh?
Okay, and we'll talk about this scenic design stuff later.
Sure.
Oh, does this mean that you're joining the theater group chat?
Well, Jim suggested that I might try my hand at painting scenery and things like that.
Well, have you ever worked in the theater before?
No, but it sure sounds interesting. I understand that you were supposed to direct the first time.
Well, that was the general idea, but we didn't get that far. A woman named Raven walked in one afternoon and, well, that was the end of that.
Yeah, Jim was telling me something about that. First, she gave you the theater, and then she took it back.
Well, she held a grudge against me. She refused to believe that I wasn't a murderer. I told you, first day you came in here, the place is haunted.
Yeah, that's right. It did happen right here, didn't it?
Yeah, right in the studio. I was, standing right here when Gunther Wagner came after me. He was a great big guy.
When he threatened to break you in half, you could believe it.
So what'd you do?
I kept a gun in the studio just for that reason, because of his threat. And I wound up doing exactly what he wanted me to do. Step and I'll shoot.
Just one little itty-bitty step?
You heard what I said.
Oh, there. There you go. You got your back up against the wall. There's no place for you to hide now, Wiley. Now put up or shut up. Well, come on, sissy, shoot.
Gunther wasn't really dead. They had switched my live ammunition for blanks and framed me.
Yeah, you see, they staged the whole thing. This guy, Skylar Whitney, the imposter, well, he staged his first murder, and then he pulled a real one for his own ends.
He really shot Gunther and made me believe, along with the rest of the world, that I was a killer. I guess that's why I get the creeps when I walk in here and remember what happened.
This new adhesive bandage, Trico Mesh, fits like skin, so it stays on better. I'll prove it to you. The name is Trico Mesh, and it's better than any plastic bandage. Since it's not plastic, it doesn't gap, it doesn't wrinkle, it doesn't curl up. Because new Trico Mesh is a weave of fibers, it fits like your own skin, so it stays on better. Remember this new name for your family, Trico Mesh from Band-Aid brand, because it fits like your skin. It stays on better, and not just for tennis.
Few things upset a mother more than knowing that one of her family is in pain. So the pain reliever that I choose for my family has to be one I can trust. For me, that pain reliever is Tylenol. I was first given Tylenol in the hospital after my son Christopher was born, and it really worked well. Turns out Tylenol is the pain reliever hospitals use most. That means I can trust Tylenol for my family.
For relief you can trust. Trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol in regular and extra strength.
Tonight, Ralph is caught between the Devil's Triangle and the Deep Blue Sea when he tries to find the sea monster who's been swallowing ships on The Greatest American Hero. Then the fall guy turns mean as a rattler to save Jody and Howie from a venomous millionaire. After Alexis schemes to break Crystal's heart and fixes a price for love on Dynasty. Tonight on ABC.